Hello, my fellow Christian women entrepreneurs. Welcome to today's YouTube video, which is Turning the Tide of Trouble. I'm Janet Clark. For those who haven't met me yet, I've been a sales and business coach in the high ticket space for the last 15 years. Prior to that, I ran sales organizations in the high tech world in corporate for 30 years. And I'm now on a totally different mission. I am out on this mission to help thousands of mission driven Christian women like you navigate the challenges that we face as business owners who are trying to create a faith based business and to combine the work we do with the ministry that we feel called to in this world. And so charge high ticket anymore for my coaching services. I actually have a very simple way for us to work together that is less than high ticket and doesn't even fall into the domain of low ticket. So it's pretty simple and it's pretty fun and it's a joint venture. So we can talk about that at some point later. But what we're going to talk about today is this world of challenges that we have to navigate through. And we face this as Christians and particularly as Christian women business owners. So if you feel that the world is troubled and you are noticing that there is just a lot of competition, people behaving badly in the business world and in all the world in general, the division and the divisiveness that's out there, if you're noticing economic hardships, fear, lack of trust, and so many other things that seem to just be so insurmountable for us right now to overcome in terms of the issues and the problems that we're facing. If you feel like that, look, you're not alone, right? We're all starting to feel it. And the way that we're going to overcome it is obviously by coming together. And that's really what this YouTube channel is about. And there's some big reasons why there is so much chaos in the world right now, why there is so much unsettledness. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that God has been pushed out of our world. We talk about cancel culture. Man, God has been canceled. And it's really obvious that nobody in government wants to hear about God anymore. We used to say that we were a nation founded under God, but that's all gone now. The schools have pushed God out. The businesses have pushed God out. And sometimes it even feels like some of the churches have canceled God. And it's all about this new agey thing. And it's all about our spiritual connection. But nobody talks about Jesus and nobody talks about the fact that we have a creator and we're here to co-create and we have biblical principles to live by. And so I will talk more about that on another video because I have a lot to say about this idea that what has happened in the churches and the institutions. But today we're going to explore how you can rise above these challenges and you can become a change agent fueled by Jesus, by the power of Christ. Because I know that you have been called to something bigger. You've been called to make an impact with God and through your faith-based business. How do we navigate this storm? I'm going to share a little parable with you today, which is the story of Noah's Ark, because I think it's a really cool way to look at how we can overcome the troubles we face, even though it's ancient history. Noah represents you, a human who is constantly praying and seeking God. You have spiritual intuition. You have a divine spark within you that is your guide, similar to what Noah had. Now, Noah's Ark is more than just a vessel. It actually symbolizes that state of mind which we can build when we face adversity. So Noah knew that the storm was coming. He was sensing that things were not going well. God was giving him these messages that he needed to rise above what was going on and build an ark. And so this ark represents for you the state of mind that you're going to be able to create and build when you are faced with the coming storm or the adversity. So instead of accepting trouble, you get to create a mental sanctuary of truth and trust. Just as Noah trusted in God's power, despite all the ridicule that he was getting, we too can trust in our divine leading. Look, you're called here right now. You're here for a reason, listening to me. And you probably are getting some pushback from people in your life when you talk about creating a faith-based business, and people who are looking at you like you're crazy and that it's not going to work, right? And think about it, when Noah was building that ark, people were ridiculing him as well. But when you have a purpose and a plan that comes from God, people can call you foolish all they want. But like Noah, you can let all of that go and you can listen to God's instructions, and you can build your own ark to float above the floodwaters of illness and financial struggles and failed relationships and rejection and depression and all of the challenges that you face in finding your ideal clients and being able to bless more lives through your business. So the ark, interestingly enough, had only one tiny window, and that window was placed very high up right under the roof, which meant that the only way to look out was to look up, not out at the world and all of the turmoil and trouble and the fears going on out there, but the only way to look out was to look up to God in heaven. This symbolizes a rise in your consciousness. So when trouble surrounds you, you can focus on God, not on the storm. The animals in the ark represent different thoughts that we all have. So birds are thoughts that soar. Cattle are just ordinary thoughts that we all have in day-to-day life. And the wild beasts are those thoughts that fling discretion to the wind. So by building your ark, you get to create a space where you float above trouble, and you can be in peace and confidence and calmness, and you can start to recognize where each thought, the place for each thought and why you have them. And they all serve a purpose. So here's another interesting thing. So remember when Noah sent out the raven, right? And the raven came back. The raven didn't find the dry land, right? What's the raven? You don't want to send out the raven because the raven represents negative thoughts. So instead, you want to send out the dove. The dove is what you want to emulate from you is peace. You want to let peace come into your being, and you want to always send out thoughts of peace. Now, this takes a little bit of practice, and we have to work on it, which is why we come together to do that. Once you let that peace come into your being after the storm, or even during the storm, you're going to feel this newness within you. You're going to feel this new calm. You're going to feel this new level of conviction in the work that you're doing for God. So remember, God sent the rainbow as a token of his everlasting covenant with us. It is never ending. So the rainbow just goes on into infinity, and it's beautiful, right? It symbolizes hope and the promise of a new beginning. So no matter how troubled the world seems, you have the power to turn the tide. So let's together declare that we will not put up with the troubles of this world, that we will be change agents, and we will rise above these troubles, and we'll work on our own inner inner consciousness in order to do that, right? Because we are empowered by Christ's power and we have it within us. So you can build your mental ark, you can rise above the storm, and you can look up to God for guidance. So if you found this message interesting, empowering, and you want to be part of our community of mission-driven women, I would ask you to just make a note in the comments and just type hashtag turn the tide. And I will see that and I will respond to that. And I will share with you ways that you can get involved with what we're doing in this ministry. You can join our group, the Women's Impact Network. And look, it's really important that we collaborate together, right? We need to support each other and help each other build the ark. And we need to float above the challenges that we face because we can make a difference together. So thank you for watching. And remember that you have the power to turn the tide of trouble. Stay strong, stay faithful, and keep looking up. Until next time, take care and may God bless you. Bye for now.